Alright, what's up guys? It's Bestmate, and today we're going to be looking at how each hero is misused in each different category. So me and my friend She Loves Y, we're going to be working on all the heroes together. I'm going to be doing DPS and tank, and he's going to be doing defense and support. So we're starting off with DPS today. So the first DPS that we're going to be talking about is Doomfist. So a lot of people play Doomfist. Oh, well, it looks like we're reinstating, but a lot of people play Doomfist. All they use is his punch, and I understand why, because it is a really good ability. But ever since the hitbox nerf, I feel like it's kind of been lacking. Oh, that sucks. Well, so as I was saying, people just use his punch way too much, even after it was nerfed. And you gotta use his other abilities much, and they're very good, such as his Seismic Slam and his Rising Uppercut. Both of those are extremely good if used in the correct way. For example, if you punch upward on a sloped surface, you get way more charge on your Seismic Slam. So using little tips and tricks like that will help your Doomfist play improve a lot. So next we have Genji. And with Genji, there's obviously a lot of Genji mains. Everyone likes to play Genji. Everyone, and he's pretty fun. You know, he has the right balance of like projectile, and his reflectability is pretty fun. But people use his forward shooting 3-shot way too much. People should use his spread shot way more, because his forward shooting, yes, it's good for long range, and sometimes you'll occasionally hit like a 3 burst of headshot, and that's super good. But close range, it's literally not going to do you anything. And even if you're at medium to slightly longer range, the spread shot is really good against tanks because they take up so much spot. And if you hit all 3 of them, it's the equivalent of hitting all 3 of your shurikens. Also, it's much easier to hit all 3 of these shurikens, so it makes it a lot easier overall on yourself. Next, we have McCree. So obviously, a lot of people, they pick McCree just to flashbang and fan the hammer. And it is a really easy way to use McCree, and especially against tanks and really fast DPS like Tracer, I recommend it. But for other DPS and smaller level tanks, if you just get a bunch of quick body shots without fanning the hammer, it does a lot more damage overall, and it kind of spreads out the way that you play, because it's just fan the hammer is just way more not controlled. You don't have exact control over where the shots go, and there's just a lot of different variables that you don't have to account for if you just shoot normally. So next, I believe, is who's next? Pharah? Yes, Pharah's next. And what I see most happening with a lot of Pharah mains is they get as close as they can to their target, so they don't have to worry about the projectile distance. And that is something that you don't want to do, because if you can master Pharah's projectile and get consistent direct hits, you will be like forced to be reckoned with on the battlefield, because that is honestly, if you can manage that, she's one of the highest. She puts out the most damage of almost any DPS basically with her insane direct hits. But it is pretty difficult to do. But that is definitely one thing I see misused about Pharah a lot. This isn't like tips. It's just kind of what I see is wrong with most people who play. Obviously, like the pros and stuff. That was terrible. Obviously, the pros and stuff, they know not to do that, and they know just to master kind of projectile DPS in general. But for the general people, I see them just getting close as they can and doing that stuff. Okay, well, let's see who's next since we're right here. Next is Reaper. And I see a lot of Reaper players, especially now that dive is so common, because Reaper counters Winston really easily. So the thing I see most misused about Reaper is probably your this kind of might seem like a nitpick, but I see Reaper players reloading way too much, because Reaper, it doesn't really feel like it, but he has 8 shots in his clip, which is actually kind of a lot. And if you just use those to your maximum potential, oh, that was terrible, and don't reload until you absolutely have to, you'll do way better overall. So, I mean, that's kind of a simple one, but I couldn't really think of anything for Reaper. So now we're on Soldier, the person who I'm playing right now. Honestly, the way people misuse Soldier is they kind of use him as like the main DPS, and he's definitely a good DPS, good all around, and if you have good mechanical aim, you'll do good with him. But I see people just playing around Soldier, and I don't think that's really needed. You should probably play around like more difficult characters like, you know, Bastion or Junkrat or something like that. So I see entire teams playing around this Soldier, and I don't really understand why. But like a general tip that I could give to people who do this is you just gotta if you're a decent soldier, don't worry about the team playing around you. You just need to kind of do your own thing, make sure you have support from your team, and you'll do fine overall. So next I believe we have Sombra, and I'm not really a Sombra player, but I've kind of noticed that people don't hack health packs as much as they should, and I just feel like that's probably, you probably should do that more, because hacking health packs is like an essential part of Pharah's kit. And I said Pharah? Oh, okay. So I said Pharah instead of Sombra, sorry. But what I was meaning is that's an essential part of her kit. That's one of the main things that makes her so important. And if you run, that's one of the main DPS that you should play around, because playing around that hack will just result in a lot of good stuff for you overall. You don't need to play around a character like Soldier, who, while good, doesn't really need to be played around, like I explained before. But Sombra, with her hacking ability, you need to base your whole support kind of subset off of that. So that's what I see. I see most people just not hacking health packs as much, and playing Sombra more as an aggressive DPS, whereas she's more of a supportive DPS. So finally, I gotta see who the final one is. Yeah, finally we have Tracer. So honestly, I really don't see too many people misusing Tracer. All she's really not good for, except for the pros, she's just good at being a nuisance, getting kills in the backline, and then getting out. So I believe that Tracer, I guess the thing that I could say is kind of recalling, like at really bad points when like either you're full health or you just really don't need to be recalling a lot, and they just abuse recall so much. And as someone who kind of plays Tracer, I feel like you only recall if you absolutely have to, because if you don't have recall and you're out of blinks, you have no way to get out of a situation. So it's always good to use recall at the very last possible second. And that's just the thing I see about Tracer. Most Tracers are just good at their job. And that's really all I have to say about the DPS. I'll close with some final remarks about DPS as a whole, how I feel like they're misused. Like I said before, I believe that DPS, yes, they are the aggressive. They are supposed to get the most kills. But I feel like DPS are all kind of lumped into this one category of like ultra aggressive. Like you have to go in the backline. You have to get so many kills, and you have to have gold limbs. But the thing is, there are some supportive DPS. For example, like I said, Sombra, she is the supportive DPS. Pharah, yes, you can get good kills with her, and if you land direct impacts, like I said. But she's also for covering fire. She's also kind of suppressive. And just a lot of people just lump all the DPS into the one category of, okay, if I'm playing DPS, I have to get in the backline, I have to get kills. So that's kind of the main thing that I've been noticing. I don't know why I popped my ult there, but it's fine. Oh, that was sick. Can I get play here? Alright, that's gonna be the video, guys. Oh, I got this diva. That's gonna be the video, guys, and I'll see you later when my friend She Loves Why does the next part of the 4-part series about defense heroes. Bye. Is that good? I tried to pack as much information.